What's good, y'all? You know how hard it is to make this type of video? You really have to go dig deep into the stat sheet and all the stats, and you really need to remember the games they have a good impact on. Like if one player played bad, since this is almost all individual awards, if one player played bad, how they went down the ladder, and if they played good, how did they rise up the ladder. But hey, I'm gonna give you my mid-season awards. This ain't a video of me predicting who I think would win each award by the end of the season. No, this is a video of me if the season ended today, which is February 26th. If the season ended today, who should win it? But I'm not counting the 2 days that the games already came back since All-Star break. I'm only counting the games that happened before the All-Star break. But hey, before we get into that, if you want to see me predict who I think should win each award by the end of the season, subscribe to this channel because I'll be dropping a video soon with my friends in our podcast called The Dub of us predicting who we think would win each award by the end of the season. So subscribe to this channel and stay tuned for that. Coach of the Year was hard to pick because you will consider a lot of coaches. You can consider Monty Williams, who led his team into the best team in the league. They were in the finals last year, but now they're even better. They're number one in the league right now, and I think also number fourth or first in the offense. And now they're a more scarier and better team. But so far after the All Star break, Chris Paul ain't there. But we're not counting that. We're counting before the games, alright, before the All Star weekend. So they are so good. Like they are so good. Like they're I think one of the best defensive teams as well as offensive. And that's the impact of Chris Paul. Chris Paul has been so good, and you know how good Chris Paul is. And yeah, Monty Williams really helped this team become better. Like even though they have a lot of bigs right now, he made it work. He made it work, and he made also Chris Paul work. And they're now the best team in the league. How many times do I have to say that? They're the best team in the league. They are so good right now that they are 49 and 11 if I am right before the All-Star break. And yo, they won 51 games last season. Yeah, they won 51 games, and now they're even better. So you gotta consider Monty Williams as coach of the year. Next is you have Eric Spoelstra. You know Miami Heat is good, but they're better when they got those other players like Kyle Lowry and PJ Tucker. They even better defensively because even without Bam and Adebayo and Jimmy Butler playing only less amount of games, or like just because of small games because of injury, they have improved players right there. Derek Spoelstra made a system work that made everyone benefit in Miami. He made Gabe Vincent look good after the Olympics. He made Max Strus look good as well. And like they're one of the best, most improved player in that team. And like even though Duncan Robinson is having a bad season, Tyler Hero is stepping up off the bench. That he is so good as well. And yo, credit to Eric Spoelstra because he has been putting work on this team. They're also one of the best teams in the East, and we already know that since the free agency. But they're even better. Another one you have to consider is Billy Donovan. Billy Donovan has been so good for Chicago, and he really fit the system work for DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Lonzo Ball. But the problem with this is that even though they are so good right now, especially for DeMar DeRozan, if Lonzo ain't there, Caruso ain't there, Derek Jones ain't there, or their defensive players, it would be hard for them to make stops. And it's still difficult for that. And that's the thing I think would be the problem for Billy Donovan because he haven't found yet a system that would help Chicago without their defensive players. Because always their goal without their defensive players is that they need to score more. Like I must score more than your team. That's the only goal that they had. If they scored 150, if the enemy scored 115, they're going to score 120. That's their goal. They won't play defense, but that's always their goal. That's why they're having a tough games with weaker teams. Well, you have to consider also Billy Donovan as maybe coach of the year. But for me, this only goes to two coaches. If you want to focus on how system works and how the coaches have improved the player, I think this only goes to two coaches, and that's JB Bickerstaff of the Cleveland Cavaliers and Taylor Jenkins of Memphis Grizzlies. Because JB Bickerstaff, he made the Cleveland Cavaliers the best defensive team. The best defensive team. Alright? Keep that in mind. The Cleveland Cavaliers is the best defensive team in the league. That's the work of JB Bickerstaff. His defense is so good, especially with Jarrett Allen as the anchor. It is so good. Like, literally so good. And everyone is already good in defense. Like, he helped Garland became better. He helped Okoro, who's already a good defender since he was drafted, become a more improved defender. He made this team look good. And if you remember, before the season started, everyone had this team below the playoffs or below the play-in because they are a big team. Like they have a lot of 7-footers, and we thought that it's not gonna work. But JB Bickerstaff made this team work. He made Laurie Markkinen better, Evan Mobley better, Kevin Love being more productive even though he wanted to leave last season, and Jarrett Allen. Like, yo, he made this team look good, and now they're the best defensive team in the league. Alright? Keep that in mind. So you have to consider JB Bickerstaff for that. But for me, I think if you gotta focus on the coach and the culture of the coach, that coach of the year for me goes to, if the season ended today, is Taylor Jenkins of the Memphis Grizzlies because he made everyone improve in Memphis. Like even if Ja is out, they are still good. They have a lot of assets in that team, and everyone can beat that next man up. There's next man up mentality. Like if you remember the Ja injury, he we thought they're going to be bad, but they beat Oklahoma by 73 points or 70 something points. He made that team work. Also, the defense, he made it improve. We all thought that Steven Adams trade for Jonas Valanciunas won't work. He made that work, and it made create more spacing for that team. You see Desmond Bain become like the second scorer in that team. You see, and also like I don't know if Dylan Brooks even played. I don't remember, but he made DeAnthony Melton become better. Tyus Jones become better. Like it's the next man up, and that's what we want in Memphis. That's what they like in Memphis. So yeah, I have him as coach of the year because he made everyone improve. And now they're like the fourth, fifth, or sixth, or like the third team in the Western Conference. Look at the stats. They are second in offense and their defense is a bit high, but they improved their defense since last year. But they're now second in offense. That's how good they are right now. That's credits to Ja, and that's also credits to Taylor Jenkins. Defensive player of the year. This was hard to pick because it's hard to pick on every detail if you watch games, especially if you watch them all together. For like example, 4 games together. Come on, NBA, improve, y'all. Give us time to watch every single game, not all together, because it's hard to do. So it's hard to pick on details of every defensive player who should win it right now. But hey, I gotta give also to Rudy Gobert, but not yet. It's a recommendation. It's a recommendation suggestion. I mean, runner up. Rudy Gobert is a good runner up for this one because he is still Rudy Gobert. Like he even made Utah one of the best teams as well. Even though Utah's already the best team, they're still good defensively because of him. It's always Rudy Gobert, and their funnel thingy system there to go defense, that's always Rudy Gobert. So like, yeah, he's still good. He can still win Defensive Player of the Year. No questions about that. Next is, I think you can go with like a Joel Embiid maybe. You can also go like with a Giannis as well. But hey, for me, I have to go with Jarrett Allen. This is like a shock, or no one expected this. But if the season ended today, it will be Jarrett Allen for me because he is so good defensively. If you watch Cleveland games, you know how good he is defensively. He can block your shot. He can even steal the ball as well. But yo, he is so good defensively. And yeah, even though he was in Brooklyn before, he was already good there. But when he went to Cleveland, even though with the JB Bickerstaff improvement and system, he made him work. And he is like one of the best defensive centers right now, or arguably the best defensive center right now. So yeah, I have him Defensive Player of the Year. And I tell you, watch Cleveland games and you will see what I am saying. Watch Cleveland games. A lot of players improved this season. There are a lot of first-time All-Stars as well, and you might consider them to become like a most improved player. But yo, I tell you, this was difficult to choose because you have a lot of choices. But hey, you can go with Miles Bridges. You can go with Fed Van. You can go with Andrew Wiggins because he became an all-star starter and everyone's still shocking. Everyone's still talking about that. You can go for like a Jordan Poole. You can go for like a Darius Garland, a Jarrett Allen. Like you can go for anyone, but don't include Ja Morant in this conversation. Yes, he improved well this season. But hey, don't include him in this conversation because he deserves to be in the MVP conversations. Yes, I said that, but hey, you have to include him in MVP, not MIP conversations. Because if this was MIP, he would win it automatically. And another thing, who was the only rookie of the year to win most improved player? There was none, I think. If I can remember, there was nobody who did that. It was so difficult to choose because every MIP winner became an all-star. If you look at the past history of winners, you've got Julius Randle, who was an all-star last year, who's playing bad right now. You have Brandon Ingram, you have Pascal Siakam, Victor Oladipo, Giannis, CJ. You have all these players who became an all-star and a future star in the league. So you have to consider that. And I know there are a lot of players to choose from, but for me, if I'm going for the future and thinking who I think would be future all stars in the league, you can even consider Miles Bridges to be like an all star candidate this year. But for me, if I'm thinking for the future, that goes to Anthony Simons of the Portland Trailblazers. Why we knew why Anthony Simons? He ain't even good. Watch Portland games. The media doesn't have enough eyes on Portland because they're a bad team without Dame. But watch Anthony Simons play. Just watch his possessions. Just watch him play. He is a baller. Like I mean a complete baller. And did I tell you he's a student of Dame? He's a student of Dame since he got drafted. He is so good in Portland, and he might be the next duo with Dame. We've seen Dame and Aldridge. We've seen Dame and CJ. Now we're going to see Dame and Anthony Simons maybe next year because Dame ain't going to leave Portland. So watch Anthony Simons play. He is a baller. Like he can shoot, he can pass, he can't defend. No, he can't defend. He's a right defender, but he's not good defender. But he is a bucket. He's a scorer. And yo, he is so good. Just watch Portland games. I just watch Portland games. If you look at his past games, Anthony Simons is now averaging 17.1 points per game, 3 rebounds and 4 assists while shooting 45 from the field goal, 40 from 3 and 89 from the free throw line. Yes, we are rounding up in this channel. I tell you, watch him. He won an dunk contest when it was 2020, if I'm right. He won a dunk contest, and I don't want people to remember him from that dunk contest only. He is a baller right now. I tell you that. And if you look at all his past games, no, before that, I'll tell you, he averaged 8 points last year and now 17.1. That's really improved, like literally improved. In the past games on the first day back since the All-Star weekend, he dropped 24 points against the Golden State Warriors. This was the game they lost by like almost like people are saying Warriors versus G Leaguers. Then before the All-Star weekend, he dropped 31 against Memphis, against Ja. Then he dropped 31 against Giannis. I forgot if Giannis played. But against the Milwaukee Bucks, 31, 30, 29, 19, 19, 21, 27, 27, 31. Like he improved his game. And it's like you're watching a young Damian Lillard looking like watching like, Anthony Simons. Like he is a baller. He's a baller and he deserves to be MIP if the season ended today. Next is we have Sixth Man of the Year. No other choice but Tyler Hero because that guy is a scorer. And I tell you, watch Miami Heat games. He's a scorer. I think he's averaging 20 points off the bench. Off the bench and leading Miami to become one of the best teams right now in the East. Tyler Hero, Tyler Hero 20 points off the bench. And his impact on Miami, even though they don't have a lot of scoring, because like sometimes Jimmy Butler ain't there, Kyle Lowry sometimes off, Bam Adebayo sometimes injured, Gabe Vincent and him off the bench, they are so good. He is making this team so good. So yeah, Tyler Hero is the Sixth Man of the Year, and I think till the end of the season. But even though the season ends today, he will still be Sixth Man of the Year. Next is Rookie of the Year, and I think everyone has the same winner as mine, and that's Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley is so good in Cleveland. Like, we know he's going to be good, but we didn't know that he'll be this good. Like, he can score on the perimeter, he can score from three, he can do dunks, he can defend. And if you have Sexland in Cleveland with Darius Garland and Colin Sexton heal up because it's going to be fun to watch you in Cleveland once you come back. You have Mobley and Allen in the front court. Like, that's a big team. And they are good defensively. How many times do I say Cleveland is a good defensive team to watch? And they're a fun team to watch. But hey, Evan Mobley can do everything. He had spaces the floor for Jared Allen because Jared Allen doesn't have a shot, but he can, dunk. And if you remember, I tell you, he can shoot. Did I just tell you who can shoot? He can shoot. Just watch the All-Star Weekend Skills Challenge. He did that half-court shot in his first try. He's so good, right? He's so good. Like, he can shoot. He can even do like a Dr. J style type of layup. Like, he can do everything in Cleveland. And he fits so well because he has a perimeter game. I don't think Laurie would really fit there, but I think sometimes he could fit with Kevin Love. But hey, Evan Mobley's the perfect guy to fit with Jared Allen. And that may be sometimes be like a controversial take, but for me, they fit so well perfectly. Because Jared Allen is always in the paint, who's like a lob threat, who plays like a Rudy Gobert type. But hey, Mobley is there to space. And he is doing well. He can score 20 points and make a double-double per game. He can do everything. And that's why he's my Rookie of the Year. But hey, Evan Mobley has been consistent. He has been so good. Like, literally so good. Did I just talk for 20 minutes?
Just realized that the mic wasn't really plugged in. Like, yeah, I'm using the mic, but it wasn't plugged in. So, yeah, it will sound different once the video comes out. So, yeah, but it's a good thing this was before the MVP. So, yeah, it is what it is, girl. Why did I forgot about that, bro?
While editing this video, I realized that the mic didn't record any of the audio during the MVP part. So I'm gonna do it again. I'm just gonna say what I said when I recorded the video. Embiid is my MVP because he did everything. He improved his game. He made the Sixers into the best team in the league. Keep that in mind. One of the best teams in the league. And he really improved his playmaking. He does everything. He can go for the rebound coast to coast. He did that before James Harden was there. But we're counting before the All-Star weekend. So Embiid is my MVP. He did all of that. And why not Jokic? Jokic has a better season right now. He's leading all advanced stats. Why not him? Keep this in mind. The NBA always goes for people or players who lead their team to the best records in the standings or the best teams in the NBA. So if you look at the standings right now, Jokic is sixth. Embiid is third in the standings. So they will go for Embiid, but Jokic is having a better season. We all know that. But you gotta keep it in NBA mind. NBA always goes for people who have the higher ups. What happened about the Westbrook? Why the Westbrook? Westbrook is having like an MVP season during that time, and he didn't have the best record. Keep this in mind. The Westbrook season was a season we've never seen before in years. That was since the Oscar Robertson days. So he deserved that MVP because we have never seen an MVP type or a season like that. After that MVP season, was he a candidate or a runner-up the next following season, even though we still recorded a triple-double? I think not, or if I could remember, not. So like that's the case. Jokic is having a good season. Like we all appreciate that, except for people who don't watch Denver games, like because like media doesn't give more attention to Jokic because he's only alone and he's doing it better or having a better season, one of the best seasons of all time. This season alone without Jamal Murray and MPJ, even though MPJ played a small amount of games this season, he is having one of the best season in years. We all know that. But like keep it in mind, the standings matter. And that's always in the NBA mind. The standings matter. So yeah, I have Embiid. And Embiid has been doing it all. He made everyone look good. Tyrese Maxey, he made Tyrese become better, even though Tyrese was already a good player, he made him become better. Georges Niang, he made Georges Niang look good. Like he made the ball look good. Like even though they didn't have a playmaker, He became the playmaker. Like, if you watch all my Sixers videos before, I keep on saying that Sixers need a playmaker because Ben Simmons ain't playing. They got it now in James Harden, but I'm saying when the season ended as the time I recorded, which was yesterday, 26 or 27, if the season ended yesterday, it's Embiid. Like literally, it's Joel Embiid. And it's always like every single day, every single time, the ladder changes. So you gotta consider DeMar DeRozan, who's having one of a run, what 35-point game run, like one of the best runs in Chicago. James Michael Jordan, I think 8 straight, 7 straight, 9 straight, 10 straight games with 35 plus points. Damn, that's DeMar DeRozan leading him to one of the best teams in the league. And you also got like Giannis doing Giannis things. John Morant. I told them in the video that John Morant should be in MVP conversation, not MIP. So yeah, he should be in this conversation. But yo, I tell you, bro, Joel Embiid has been dominating, bro. Been dominating. And before that James Harden trade, he has been doing it so well. Even though they're double teaming him because he's the only star factor, he passes it to Maxi. Maxi's improved. Milton's improved. Tobias has been off a bit this season. Like yeah, Seth Curry even improved. Like him and Seth Curry were the playmakers, and now he improved his game in playmaking and even better as well. Like defensively, offensively, he's been doing it well, and he has improved a lot. Even though Jokic is having the better season, Jokic is still the best, but yo, Embiid's been doing it all and leading his team to the better seed. And always keep that in mind. The NBA always goes for players who have a better seed. So yeah, that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe. I know I didn't say a lot, but like if the mic recorded the audio, yo, I could have said it a lot more than what I've said today. So yeah, we'll see you all soon. And don't forget, always check your mic.